Hi, this is Rebuild It Dad 57, building a hamster wheel for small carnival. It's a new project. Just gonna see what it comes out, how it comes out, what it's gonna look like. Uh, give you guys a little breakdown. Uh, Somebody give me one of these big wheels. I figured this would be a perfect time to make a hamster wheel. It's about 8 feet across, 4 feet wide, big enough for 4 seats. Be able to use most of the steel on it so there'd be no waste. Um, I think I got some pipe that I can use for an axle, which should hold it up more than enough. And as soon as I get this colored pipe off the wheel, I'll be rolling it around to the front of the garage, and it should be fine. It should work out just the way I should envision it in my head. I took a couple ideas off of YouTube for stuff that's already been built, and I'm going to kind of make this my own and see how it works. So let's get a closer look here. All these pieces in the middle are little guide rails that hold the different colored uh, pipe. They use the pipe for um, fiber optics, and we're going to take those off, cut them down, use the side to side pieces. Um, they're 4 feet. This is a hole. I got two of them, one on each side. I got a piece that'll fit in there, and then another piece will fit inside the other piece to make it the right size for the axle to make it spin. I'm gonna put a plate on the end here, drill 4 holes, and make it secure. And let's see what else. The square tubing you're looking at here on the spindle around the square piece here are inch and a quarter, and the one, no, let me back up. They're 1 inch and a quarter. The big ones going side to side an inch and 3/8. All the way around the outside is inch and 3/8. And the stuff is a rust steel, which means it'll rust, but it won't rust through. It's a just one of those weird things that somebody come up with. And it'll hold the surface rust, but it won't rust anyway any bit any more through. It just stops rusting for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not a scientist. I don't make the stuff. I just cut it up and weld it. So, but this is what we're looking at. This is how it's gonna happen. Uh, so I'm gonna let you go and go on to do something else here. And as soon as I'm done with this, we'll start right back up. So don't go anywhere. I'm gonna end right here. All right. Well, I got the pipe off, and now we're looking at the wheel. I've taken a couple of the inside pieces off that hold the pipe. You can also see I've lined up the two square things so they look kind of square, but they're not really square, but they're close enough. And I've also decided where I was going to put the floor. So I got to cut a couple pieces of this uh, inside pieces here. It's going to work out to my favor because I'll be able to use this as um, the piece for the floor. We're going to run a level up in here and square it up to that flat piece right there and weld it on there, weld it to the frame, and then I'll go to the other side and do the other side, same thing. Um, the curve, I don't care who you are, the curves for me they never match up. You got to beat them down with a hammer and make it fit, and you know, uh, but I got plenty of steel. Like I said, I'm going to use most of the square tubing that come. There's a big stack of it over there, and it's there to use. It's not going to go to scrap yard. It's good uh, solid steel. This stuff here on the sides got some little holes in it where they put the nuts and bolts and things in it. It's still good, solid steel, and there's no reason why it can't be reused and recycled. Um, so it's going to get recycled back into the ride. You'll see a little further on that I've used quite a bit of it. I will have some pieces left over, and I will be welding some of it together and using it here or there. Uh, Gonna move on here and show you what I've did to the floor. I started building the floor. I got the pieces cut, and they were all welded in, and now it's just a matter of figuring, uh, getting it all welded, finish welding it in. I put some braces around the outside to keep it from shifting from side to side, and I'm gonna have to put a few more in, which I got plenty of steel to do just that. Just takes a little bit of time. I'm getting old and my arthritis kicks in, and I have to take a break. Um, but that should be a good solid steel floor right there, and nobody's going to come through it once I put the decking down on it. Um, I got to cut out uh, these three pieces right here. Uh, they're going to be in the way of entering and exiting the ride, and then I'm going to do the three on this side also, and I'm going to leave that middle one that you just kind of saw real quick there, and I'm going to put some steel pipe in here, some fence posts or top rail on a fence, which I got for free. Somebody was tossing it, and checked on Craigslist, and they said come and get it. So I went and got it, and I got some nice, excuse me, I got some nice pieces, and I'm a scrounger. You can see in my yard, I got a lot of stuff out there that I've managed to pick up. Here's a little bit of a close up of one of the pieces that I stuck up in the top and welded it in, and another view of the floor. Uh, I'm gonna show you here in a second the a U-shaped piece of equipment that I got from the scrap yard. I paid $40 for it. If I was gonna build it, it would have cost me close to probably $200, $300 in metal. Not to mention the time. Um, I think it had something to do with manufacturing something. There's a couple spots that had little cracks on the welds. I think that might be why they got rid of it. I will strip it down to just a bare frame. It's got these big heavy things here on the inside with a nice saddle bearing. These things here, they weigh about 45, maybe 50 pounds. They're pretty heavy. I got to get up in there, take that nut off of there, and pull the shafts out. I'm going to save them uh, for future use on maybe on a different ride. And right there on the bottom, you can see the piece of pipe that I'm going to use for an axle. I got a couple other different bearings. We're going to cut that piece right there out, that angled piece out, so that I get more space on the inside of the U. These bearings are going to come out, and then I will weld a piece of 4.5 inch by 4.5 inch steel, about 2 feet. I'll show you them at the end of in a minute here. Um, and they'll go up about another 2 feet, which will get this unit up off it'll get the wheel up off the bottom. Um, and you know, I just got to strip it down and get all the little light steel off of it and screws and stuff that absolutely do nothing. And um, I got a good deal with it. The thing is very heavy. That thing probably weighs about 800, 900 pounds. Uh, when we put it on the back of the truck settled down about um 4 inches. I think it dropped down, and it's very heavy. It sat on my truck for about a week and a half before I decided to take it off. So we're going to move on here in a minute and um, get to the next section where um, I've got some steel that one of my videos I watch, and the guy constantly talking about where can you get free steel, where can you get free steel. Well, I'm a king of that. I can find this stuff. It's everywhere if you just look and ask. Um, this is this comes from Tractor Supply. They get their lawnmowers on this stuff. They're steel pallets. I can't really use the piece here that I'm pointing at. It's a 1x2. It's a really light metal, but uh, the 1x1s right here, they will weld together, and I'll be using them on the wheel. A couple places on the wheel, I gotta make a larger wheel to accept or not accept, but a larger wheel to go around the outside, so that these guys can turn the wheel because there is no motor for this thing. It's all man powered. Um, but I've probably gotten 8 or 10 of these. I got a big stack of this steel, and it's a pretty good steel. There's another one that's been sitting out in the yard for a while. Um, I got to get out there and cut them up and clean up my mess a little bit. I got to make a scrap metal run. This is what the wheel's going to look like with the seat in it. One of the seats. I got two seats. There's going to be one side by side. I got the brackets basically welded in. You can see where I got the half circle where the seat goes, where the thing is. We're going inside my messy garage right now, and there's the piece that's going to have the 4 holes in it. That's going to hold, um, go inside it'll go inside the holes that are on the wheel itself, and you can see the brackets. I got some more brackets right there for the seats. There's 8 of those total, and um, oh, there's my regular seat, and you can see how I got the that piece of steel going up the middle there, um, and that there's going to be one more of them on the other side. This is just a larger piece that's going to fit in the hole. That's going to um, slide out to the U-shaped piece so that there's no play in it. Here's the piece for the axle, which fits in that other piece that I just showed you uh, a second ago. And I got me a nice pipe bender from Harbor Freight Tools. It will bend the pipes. Those pipes that you're looking at, I did bend those with the pipe bender, and I'm very satisfied with this machine. It was a little expensive. Um, However, if I had to send it out, it would have